What's up, everybody? It's your boy Andrew L.K. So you're now tuned into breaking news. Breaking freaking news. What's up, Kev? What's going on?
Not much, man. We got a nice little breaking news bulletin at 11:30 or whatever it was a.m. on a Tuesday morning. So I'd like to shout out the Bills and the Texans for making this happen at a reasonable hour where motherfuckers can just get on it and shoot the shit about it.
Right. You can just jump on and talk about it. We're going to set up a whole podcast episode or whatever, a special evening. But yeah, the Buffalo Bills of upstate New York have traded Stefon Diggs to the Houston Texans for a 2025, was
2025,
25?
yep. Second round draft pick.
2025 second round draft pick. Unfreaking believable. I cannot believe this is actually a real thing. As reported by breaking news by Adam Schefter. The Bills have. I mean, we did know it was rocky. We knew what the situation was in Buffalo. It felt like Diggs and Josh Allen didn't really get along. Here's the funny thing. RG3, he tweets out, "Is Stefon Diggs essential Josh Allen's success?" And somebody replies, "Does Josh benefit from having a top tier receiver? Is he essential to his? No. Does Josh Allen benefit from having a top tier receiver? Yes. Is he essential to his success? No." Stefon Diggs replies to that, "You sure?" And the very next day, he's traded.
Traded the next day.
The very next day.
The very next day. It's an interesting trade. I mean, I will say this. It felt very inevitable the entire offseason because with the way Stefon has just been throwing out the tea leaves every now and again, it felt inevitable. When he dropped that beautiful bomb that Josh threw in the fourth quarter of the Chiefs game, that kind of felt like the last the last straw there in Buffalo, and it feels like Stefon has been openly bitching for a long time. I guess maybe bitching is too strong, but openly showing, yeah, this ain't it for a while. So he got his wish. As much as I would like to celebrate the Buffalo Bills' downfall, I can't believe that they're stupid enough to believe that they could go into a season with a wide receiver core anywhere near what they currently have. So,
which is nothing.
Exactly. So it's just either they're going to use high capital on a receiver, which I could see happening, or they have something up their sleeve. Now, I'm not a capologist. I'm never going to pretend to be a capologist. Now, they have a whole bunch of dead cap. They took whatever, incurred a $35 million dead cap hit to get Diggs up out of there. If I'm not mistaken, it was 35.
31.
31. Okay, $31 million dead cap hit,
from,
and they've been losing players left and right because they're in cap problems. But again, I've heard the cap problems thing many times, and people just wiggle around it. So I'm not going to put anything past them. What I'm trying, the road I'm driving down is, if we get up tomorrow and the Bills have acquired T. Higgins, I wouldn't be shocked by it. Is what I'm driving down. Or if even bigger fish than that, if they went and they acquired Justin Jefferson, I wouldn't be shocked by that.
Right.
So I'm not going to be. I'm gonna get my jokes off about the Bills as long as I can get them off, but I don't. This impending doom that people are predicting for them, I don't know if that's the case. So there you go.
I mean, well, I'll say this much. According to Adam Schefter, I don't even think it was Adam Schefter, but somebody had shown the amount of players that left Buffalo.
Yes, it's a lot.
It's a lot. Like it's not just offense; it's defense as well. It just doesn't look good. So, and it was Adam Schefter. Among the players the Bills have now moved on from this offseason: Stefon Diggs, starter; Jordan Poyer, starter, and I believe he was a Pro Bowler or All Pro. I don't remember what year. Tre'Davious White, cornerback; Mitch Morse, your center; Gabe Davis went to the Jags; Tyrell Dodson, I don't know if he's a big impact; and Leonard Floyd. But I mean, you lost 7 guys in the offseason, and you're competing. You're not really competing in a division per se, because the whole thing is about keeping up with trying to finally beat Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. I don't think none of these moves in offseasons have helped that cause. And to your point, even if they did trade capital to get a wide receiver, I don't think that's enough for them to really. Right. Okay. So my question to you is this a hard reset? And my secondary question to that is, are the Bills closing their window even faster?
Is this a hard reset? I don't think when you have a quarterback that good, you're doing hard resets. So, like, I don't think this is a hard reset. Now, is it possible that they're doing a soft reset for like a year? Sure. I think as long as you don't run out like me, you, and Jude with Khalil Shakir wide receiver, like I think the Bills are going to make the playoffs, right? What they do when they make the playoffs, I mean, they're probably going to lose to Kansas City. They do that every year any fucking way. So, like, you know what I mean? Right. So, do I think this is a hard reset? No. Do I think it's a bit of a soft reset? Sure. Do I think they're closing their 2024 window? Most likely, because again, they've lost quite a few people, and they haven't exactly showed an urgency to try and replace them with similar caliber players. So it's like, I don't believe in the head coach. Right. The pass catching core right now is us and Shakir. Their defense is taking a step back.
Right.
There's nothing on April 3rd, 2024, excuse me, that's going to make me believe, yeah, the Bills are in it to win it this year. I don't.
Right.
And the tinfoil hat portion of me wants to say, maybe that's why they didn't fire Sean McDermott. Maybe that's why. Maybe they're just like, all right, we're not going to fire this dude because we want him to take the fucking lumps of 2024, having a pared down roster.
Right.
And then once that's over with and we have a little bit more financial wiggle room, then we could do what we need to do and move on from him in 2025. Because really, I don't understand why you're keeping Sean McDermott. Like, if you're trying to win and you're telling us you're trying to win, you're actively keeping the guy who, for better or worse, we can say whatever we want about Josh Allen. Like, Josh Allen has the lowest interception percentage in league playoff history. That is a real statistic. Look it up. And Sean McDermott runs around like Sean McDermott coaches him like Jude would. To just make it simple, he coached him like he's terrified of the guy, and they're just like, yeah, we're gonna run this back. We can't do better than Sean McDermott. Like, yes, you can. So maybe this is what it is. They're just like, all right, man, we'll take the lumps this year with Sean, and then once we get eliminated in round 1 again or round 2 again, whatever, then we could usher in the new era with the new coach. Maybe that's what it is.
Right. For all that's concerned, they could have definitely just hired Mike Vrabel if he wanted to do that. Like, if he wanted to play it safe, just hire Vrabel if you want to do it.
Everybody's favorite coach, Mike Vrabel.
Everybody's favorite coach.
Everybody's favorite coach who went through an entire coaching cycle, got no job, and now is a fucking consultant. But I'm supposed to believe he's this, that, and the third because they won 2 playoff games in 1 season in Tennessee. But yeah, sure.
Right. Sure. But on the flip side of this, though, the Houston Texans. I mean, we haven't spoken in a little bit, but we speak all the time in the Discord.
Yeah.
The off season that certain teams are having. I was ranking the Eagles and the Jets, around the top 2, but not to be outdone. The Houston Texans are having the best off season this year. The additions they just added, with the addition of Stefon Diggs, Daniil Hunter, Joe Mixon, Danico Autry, Jeff Okudah, C.J. Henderson, Tim Settle, Foley, Fatukasi, and a punter, Tommy Townsend. But I can say out of that list, you have all pros, Pro Bowlers. Your defense was already good. You got them better. You just made your wide receiver core maybe a top 5 wide receiver core, what you have already. And
I think you're underselling that. The wide receiver core part, maybe. That's a top 5 wide receiver. Maybe that's a top 5 wide receiver core. It's just a matter of how high we're gonna go. Like, to me, you're talking about Diggs. You're talking about unless Diggs is just done, which I don't see that. But I don't think he's the guy he was 3 years ago. Which, I mean, that's how age works.
Right.
I don't think he's the guy he was 3 years ago, but he definitely isn't done. And you have Nico and you have Tank Dell. Like, yeah, that's a top 5 wide receiver core
with the defense that they have. Like, man, Texans have.
I mean, this is how you try and take advantage of a rookie quarterback scale, man. Wage scale. This is how you do it. The rookie contract. You got C.J. Stroud under control for another 4 years. So it's like, all right, the window's wide open. We saw what this guy could do. Let's get him even more help, and let's go from there. I appreciate it. They're going for it.
So where do you see this for Houston now? We talked about the Bills for a little bit. Where do you see this for Houston? Because the Houston Texans went 10-7 with all of injuries last year. Now you got Stroud, who won't be a rookie, coming to his second year with veterans. You let Greenard go, but you got Daniel Hunter, so it wasn't even like a poor exchange. You got veterans, you got young talent. Are the Houston Texans now a favorite to compete to reach the Super Bowl in the AFC?
I mean, at this rate, the question is who is the second best team in the AFC, right? Realistically, because nobody within their right mind who has a relatively neutral rooting interest is going to be like, yeah, I'm betting against Pat.
Right.
They're just not. So, we're talking about, like, are they better than the Ravens? I don't think so, but can it be argued? Yes. Like, are they in the next tier with Baltimore? I mean, I think Baltimore kind of is the next tier. Like, it's Baltimore, it's Houston. I don't believe in Miami. Y'all can have that.
Right. Get the Jets, who probably
I don't believe in the
3.
Browns with old boy.
Dry rub.
Don't believe. Yeah, him. Yeah.
Not
I
old
mean,
boy.
the Bengals are there. So I guess the Bengals, we gotta put them in there. Old boy. Yeah.
Obey. Dry rub.
Nasty, man. The Bengals, you got to put in there. So I guess it's like the Bengals, the Texans, the Ravens. I guess that would be it as far as like the next tier of teams, because I don't buy Miami. The Chargers, I'm good. There's nobody else. So like the Bills, no. I don't take them seriously either. So it's just, you want to put the Jets in there. The Jets, I saw a tweet. It was like, how do I split up that the Jets have like a top 5 roster in the sport, but they're also the Jets, and it's like, that's kind of a perfect way to put it, right? They're all like they're the Jets. They have an amazing roster. Anything is on the table for that team this year. Everybody could get fired. They can make an AFC championship game appearance. Like, there's a lot is on the table. So if you want to put them in the next tier, like tier 2, I'm not going to be the one to argue heavily against it. So it's basically like, at this point, there's 3 or 4 teams that are threats to Kansas City, and there's like 5 teams who you could look and be like, all right, that's a really good team, or that can be a really good team, in my opinion.
Right. I'm going to go out on a limb, and it's I would say this. It's windy right now. It's rainy. I'm not going to say this branch is too strong. I'm going to say Houston on paper is the second best team in the league, and I'm going to say I'm a just say this.
That's a very Jude approach to this. But go ahead.
And the reason why I'm saying this is because the health of Joe Burrow and the playoff success of Lamar Jackson. We haven't seen a healthy Burrow maybe once in his entire career so far, and Lamar Jackson, MVP, gets to the playoffs and puts up duds. I say, with that being the factor, if Burrow is healthy, Cincinnati is the second best team if everything is working their way. Lamar and the Ravens are the second best team, like, in the regular season with that quarterback. But when it comes to the playoffs, as much as I love Lamar, and it's not always all on him, his playoff performance, I could knock him down a peg and say, if we're saying chances to go be an AFC championship, chances to rival or contend, I can knock him down a peg. I can say Houston with CJ Stroud winning those games with those numbers, with a significantly better wide receiver. Significantly better wide receiver core, and adding Joe Mixon to the mix, who can catch up the backfield. He's not going to be the end all be all, but arguably that could be now a 12-win team. I'm going to give the nod to Houston, a slight nod as a second best with intangibles. Just intangibles. I'm just saying it's intangible. It's not saying whatever, just intangibles. Because we don't know how healthy Burrow is going to be, and we know how good Lamar can be, but Lamar hasn't proven anything in the playoffs yet. Houston is playing with house money, proverbially. Like, you have a second-year coach and a second-year quarterback.
No, they're not. Oh, them expectations are right. Them expectations, they're not playing. They were playing with house money this past year, yeah, for sure. CJ Stroud went out and put up one of the best rookie seasons of all time.
Right.
They made the second round of playoffs, and then they added a Hall of Fame caliber receiver in the offseason. That house money shit is out the window.
But the reason why I say The reason why I say house money because Houston is not supposed to be this good right now, or the expectation is not supposed to be here right now. You know, you had the whole controversy for 2 seasons. Houston was supposed to be bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
And then you get a black head coach. Forget a new head coach. You get a black head coach in a system where it felt like they were trying their hardest to hire McCown. Like they're trying their hardest to hire this dude. And this dude is like, yo, I'm not right for the job. Like, it's not me. There's someone else more qualified out there for the job. Like, it's not me though. Like,
I'm sure there's people right for the job, but it ain't me. It's like, stop looking at me. Stop looking at me. I don't want this. Like,
right.
Please.
That situation stunk. And all of a sudden you look at Houston like, that's a destination. That's a team. That's a place to be. That's a team to play for. And I'd just say house money a little bit because they're not supposed to be this good, this fast, considering everything that happened, especially dealing with the coach, the GM, the owner. The owner's still there, right? The owner's still there.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, that's just the way I'm looking at it. But I agree with your statement. They're around that second tier group. I feel, but hey, man, if it's a time to do it, with what just happened with Rashee Rice, and we don't know the certainty of what the Kansas City Chiefs offense is going to look like because they didn't make any big moves on the offense this offseason. We don't know exactly what it is. I'm not betting against Mahomes. I've said this many years, and I'm not doing it this year. I'm just saying this. I'm going to just preface it this way. Eventually, maybe it doesn't happen, but eventually Houston's going to look human. It hasn't happened yet.
Who's going to look human?
I mean, not Houston. Kansas City's going to look human. Eventually. It hasn't happened yet.
Oh, man. Big take there.
Maybe 2030. No.
Eventually, Kansas City's going to lose. Man. Wait. You hit us with one there. Wow.
Wait, Kev. Maybe in 2030.
Hey, man. You hit us. Eventually, they're going to lose. Man, that was a Drew Jackson level take. Yeah, eventually they're gonna lose. Thank you, thank you, John Madden. Appreciate it.
One day Mahomes is gonna get old.
Right. One day Kansas City is not gonna win three or four straight playoff games to win themselves a Super Bowl. One day. It had to happen the last 2 years, but one day it's gonna happen. You are correct.
And then
nobody wins every Super Bowl. Correct.
And then we'll talk.
Correct. Then we'll talk. But it might happen this year for all we fucking know. Maybe it does.
Yeah, I'm not betting against Pat Mahomes anymore, but Houston definitely impressed in the offseason. What this means for our division, though, for the New York Jets, what they're doing, there are no excuses right now. Like we got the injury excuses, we didn't build offensive line excuses the right way. If everybody's healthy or relatively healthy, there are no excuses. The most important health position, of course, is Aaron Rodgers, but you can't look at what the Bills haven't done this offseason and now look at what the Jets have done and say we're aiming for nothing less but winning the division. Like that has to be the goal now. It's the division or nothing else. Like
or coming to within a game of the division, right? As some people would say. I'm not gonna mention no names. I'll let Case mention names if he wants to mention names. I think you guys who listen to us could take a wild guess who the fuck said that shit.
Bro, I threw the freaking alley off the glass, and I'm like, so the division or nothing, right, Jude? And he said a game short of the division would be fine.
But why would he even pick a game? That's the part I don't fucking understand. Why would you pick a game short, bro? Because it by his logic, I'm using Jude logic here, so don't attribute this shit to me. Somebody wins 13 games, let's say Miami just has a great regular season, they win 13 games, right? You win 11. Are you going to tell me that's a failure? Like, what is the difference? What is why that specific in this case? Why would 11 or 12 games make any kind of difference in how you feel at that point? Especially when you're the one who tells me all the time, just a tip. Just a tip. I just want to play. Just a tip. I just want to experience playoff. Just a tip. You tell me that all the time, and now you're telling me they better come within at least one game of winning the division. they better do that, Kev. Like what? Why would it be one game? Like not like they got to win at least 11 games. That makes sense. They better come within at least one game of the division. That's somebody's man's though. But yeah, carry on.
It's great, but there are no more excuses. You know, I mean, there's been a lot of turmoil. The whole did Woody Johnson and Salah have an argument at dinner? You know, what I mean, it's the media versus the fans, and the fans hate the media, and the Jets being the blah.
Yeah.
At the end of the fucking day, the Bills have basically said either a hard reset or soft reset, but we're not doing anything to compete for this division with the moves that we're making. That's at least what they're saying on paper. The Jets are saying we're trying to go to a Super Bowl at the most, but right now it's saying this suggests, you have to win the division. There are no excuses for you not to win the division. The Bills are rolling over, basically say, here, take these 2 wins. The Patriots I don't know what the Patriots are doing, but they should take those 2 wins. And then you got to play Miami, who you haven't beaten in a while, but Miami has proven to be beatable, but we never had a quarterback worthy enough to play to beat them. So if we can at least win 4 to 5 wins, the division should be ours, considering the rest of the field is pretty outside of Houston, who just beefed up their whole roster. That's not an easy win anymore. And whatever else we're playing this season. So, no excuses for Salah. Somebody has suggested, this would be the last point, someone suggested that there's a world where Salah gets fired and Joe Douglas still remains the GM. What are your thoughts on that?
Woody Johnson is very stupid. He could do anything. I wouldn't be surprised by it. It doesn't have to make sense. Woody's stupid. But I don't understand why you wouldn't just fire both of them. I don't understand why. But would I be shocked if they were like, let's give Joe a chance to hire somebody else? No, I wouldn't be shocked. Nothing that can be argued as stupid would surprise me that Woody would do. If you could point to something that says, hey man, that'd be fucking stupid. Woody Johnson doing it would not surprise me. So would I consider it likely? No. Also because I know Woody listens to fans. And if the Jets miss the playoffs again, the fans are going to be in Woody's mentions every day, asking for everybody to be fired. So I know his stupid ass listens to fans. So I wouldn't be I'd be surprised if he then fired one and kept one. I'd be surprised.
It would be the most surprising thing for me. I don't think that would make sense. It would be the least surprising for
a lot of shit. What he does doesn't make sense. Like, right. Openly talking bad about a quarterback they're trying to trade. Like, that didn't make sense, and he did it, right? Like telling us we didn't have a backup after you made him the backup last year for no actual reason. That didn't make sense either. Woody did it. Woody doesn't make sense. Well, he's not good at that.
Woody said it to my face. That's the funny thing. Woody said it to my face.
Woody's a very stupid man. And Woody was talking. He wasn't outwardly talking shit about Zach, but like the undercurrent was talking shit about Zach. Like when you spoke to him, like we finally got a guy, huh? Yeah, right. Yeah, Andrew, we finally got a guy. Hey, yeah, that's what the undercurrent was. Like, I'm tired of him too. Is basically what the undercurrent was saying.
Right.
And yet here we are. And he did all of that shit. But Woody's a moron. Woody's a moron, long and short. I wouldn't be surprised by anything stupid that he does. But like the rational, like independent of anything Woody related, it doesn't make sense to me, at least, to keep one and not the other. Like if they both miss the playoffs again, throw them both out. That's how I view it.
Yeah.
Throw them both out.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been it. That's breaking news from MI Pod. Hopefully we come out with some. Not hopefully, we're going to come up with some more breaking news if more stuff happens. We have NYJ Matt next episode. Peace.